What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Clown blog. Yes, smoker voice still here. A little bit better, not too much better. Um, hat edition, late night hat edition. Austin, Texas hat edition. If you don't know, it's the soccer team hat. Let's get into it. Listen, some nights some videos I wear shades, some videos I wear hats, and the comments are hilarious. Well, I don't know if I can trust you with those shades on. Do you want me to stare at the sun directly for hours? Okay, cool. People are always weird, but let's get into it. Tonight, we're hitting on 9 days to go. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the election, highly indebted economy, inflation, taxes, all of us is what I meant to put up there, and losing your job and needed skills. Today, I was offended. I was offended for my Latino. They ain't our brothers and sisters per se, but I was offended for Latino people today. I had a person who's very smart. They live in New York, in tech, financial district, smart person. Go, well, I haven't seen anybody complain that they were a fruit picker and lost their job. To which everybody in the comments are like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" Again, this is how out of touch some people are. That there are black men and women and white men and women who work in warehouses, who work at real estate, who work at restaurants, I meant to say, who work in food service, who work in the back of the house. They used to be the cooks. They used to be the brothers washing dishes. If you were a felon and you want to go wash dishes at any restaurant, you could get a job like this. If you were a felon and you could cook or could pass the certification real quick, 2 day certification, it ain't nothing but a 30-minute video, food safety certification, you could work. So when people sit here and tell you, well, y'all complain about food picker jobs. No, vegetable pickers have always had H-1B1 visas that farmers could use. I even applied for a tech company that helped farmers use an app to get more visa workers. Okay. Like I wanted to learn about the company, and it was a very small 4-person company. And I said, this is the future of a lot of these companies with these apps. They got the CEO, they got the person, the COO, they've got the accountant, they've got the manager and 2 or 3 sales reps at most. And a lot of people ain't ready for that. They're not ready for those conversations. Now, also when it comes to lawn care, right? I don't know if you grew up where you grew up, but in the 80s and 90s, a lot of times you saw black men cutting grass, right? Pickup truck coming by, cutting down trees, doing all this stuff. Now you see Latino men, right? You can name a various list of things, but what happens is we allow people to have this very dumb conversation of like, who's complaining about vegetable picking and farming? What? Haven't you gone to Taco Bell or McDonald's or any of these places and seen the whole drive-through staff is is Latino? Have you not gone to Asian restaurants and seen the cooking staff in the back is Latino? Have you not gone to places and noticed you're at Bojangles, known for having black little ladies on the line cooking chicken, and everybody's Latino? Like, stop it. And this is how when people say, I don't see color, I'm colorblind. I don't see color. You don't. And you don't care. You really don't care what's beneath you or below you. And this is something, that's not being said by the Democrats. But like even today, I put about, these people want you to have an ID, don't want you to have an ID, but these are the same people want you to show your vaccination card. And people would jump to hoops to say, yeah, because of, no, not the my body, my choice people. Now you're gonna be like, Eric, I didn't come here to watch you talk to me about the economy and the politics, but I have to because this is the last 9 days. This is when people are actually paying attention. Many people don't understand why is Trump still doing rallies. That's crazy. If you know anything about politics, it's for all down ballot tickets. And somebody had a show the other day and they were talking about Texas, and I said, you notice how they know Ted Cruz gonna lose because Trump came through Austin, gave a 2-second speech, and was out of this mug. He was gone so fast. He did his 3-hour show with Joe Rogan, and he was done. Okay. Kamala had Houston and Obama. Now you have a lot of transplants that have moved to Houston. I tell you right now, when you meet people under 32 years old, they've moved to Houston. Some of y'all in here messaged me about voting because your first time being in Texas, and we messaged each other about it, right? It's a heavy, heavy, heavy immigrant community in Houston. Now, something you also don't know about the heavy immigrant community in Houston, a lot of them own businesses and a lot of them don't vote. Let me say that again. A lot of them own businesses and a lot of them don't vote. Houston right now is still reeling from like two or three Jewish judges that came in and they like, who voted these people in? And one of the Jewish judges is a young guy and he's like, nah, y'all not. He literally is famous for saying you pulling people for walking while black and tossing out cases. Um, for sure. Listen, let me listen, and I'll be very fair. I voted against Ted Cruz, a protest vote, because he's crap. He's crap. Um, and there's nothing he's particularly done for our state when we have a lot of issues in our state. He's not been good for us, no matter what people say. And I know they're wanting it to be a red wave in the Senate and all that other stuff. But I want you to understand, like, Colin Allred, can't even put his white wife beside him in commercials. He's got a white mom, black dad, and he can put his mom in the commercials, but he old pictures, but he can't put his wife because they poll bad, right? So you have a population that's still like, what's going on? You still have Texas is the second largest black population in America. Let me say that one more time. Texas, the state, is the second largest black population in America. Number one is New York City. That's it. Number one and number two. And at the rate Texas is going, a lot more black people are going to find their way here. We already know this. Okay. So I always say less than 9 days left because some people are voting, early voting per se. 2/3 of all the voting is going to get done early voting this time. You already saw a ballot box was on fire in Washington State. But part of me saying all this is, without physical investments, it's hard for you to raise your standards. It's the people that are voting right now are people who own their homes and are pissed about taxes. And I'm just telling you, it's very different right now. Sorry, right now I was looking at this thing about the global economy, and Japan was 12% of the global economy. China was 19% of the global economy, and USA is 23% of the global economy. So if Japan is having a struggle bus moment and it has had a lost decade, and China closed 1 million restaurants and 40 banks just closed, and some of the people you're seeing coming across the border are actually Chinese, you know, what does that say for our economy? Now, so many people say, oh, we're not in a recession, we're not in a recession. And I just don't, if this ain't a recession, I don't know what it is. Because I have a strong feeling after election, if it don't go the way they want, they're gonna go, we're in a depression. It's a depression right now. Right now. Ever since he came into the office, it's a depression. I really feel like, that was about to happen. Okay. I feel like that is number one was about to happen. But why is Trump still rallying to increase the down ballot? To get you to come out for your local person. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Grant Cardone hopped his butt on stage. Not once, but twice now. And they told him, don't drop no more F bombs. And he cleaned up his speech the second time. But I want you to pay attention. I'm going to show you this right here. I sound much better. Hey, I still sound like an old lady smoker right now. Sounds terrible. But I just need to be able to sound well enough for Friday to catch a plane. So that's really the biggest part. Let me show you this. It's very convenient. This is election time. I always want you to put this through your prism of your mind. Who are they talking to? Who's important in this economy? Now, I love this. Wall Street always has this up here top. Russell 2000s struggle bus for most of those businesses, but that's another conversation. So long story. Let me come down here. A day in the life of a 39-year-old factory boss managing 3,000 employees. He runs a whirlpool plant that makes 22,000 washing machines in a day. Sore knuckles. Okay. There's a reason they're using this guy. This is an example of hardworking American. Look at me showing you this. I mean, this is very, very convenient. They start their day so early and they're so hardworking. Look at us in here. Look at her laughing it up. I don't know if y'all can see her very well, but um um the reason I'm showing you this is rare. I want you to understand how rare this is. We don't have that many factories that do this level, this high of a level. Like Dallas is full of factories. Let's keep it real. The Puerto Ricans don't care. No, Puerto Ricans are not mad with Trump. Please don't let the internet gas you up. The Puerto Ricans are at their house right now making pork related meals. Please stop. Puerto Ricans are dumped into New York at a high number. Puerto Ricans were dumped after the hurricane in Atlanta in high numbers. A comedian coming on stage talking has not changed the fact that Latino people are not rocking with the Democrats like that. I really want y'all to understand you're talking about people who own businesses, married. They're not rocking with y'all like that. I want y'all to really get out of your circles that you're in. I really would encourage you so strongly because every year they say, "Oh, they don't like it. They don't like it." And then all of a sudden you walk up and then election night, you got a million Cubans voting Republican. You got 75% of Latinos voting Republican. You got 60% of white women voting Republican. And every year y'all come with this S. Well, Erica, you see when they talk bad about the Puerto Ricans, see when they talk bad about the women's, listen, when them white women came out marching, talking about they was against Trump, and everybody, there was a people holding up signs saying, well, why did 55% of y'all vote for him? Everybody at this rally didn't not vote for him. It's a simple math problem, right? Even when they're going to sit here and tell you that, oh, these black men, it's like 12% of black men vote for Trump. I would dare say it's probably 20%. But that doesn't change the fact that, not all the people that want to vote, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter. They've been talking bad about Puerto Rico for years. Puerto Rico has been mismanaged. Y'all are letting the internet gas you up. Nobody care about Puerto Rico like that, baby. They care about Puerto Rico by going there and getting 4% tax rates. That's it. I'm so sorry, Infinity. But if you keep coming in here talking about Puerto Ricans, I'm gonna let you have a good night. Okay. Just letting you know now. Okay. Now, why am I bringing this up? They're showing you these articles, trying to give you this view of this. Look, it's a white man in a warehouse. Look, it's white people in a warehouse. When we all know, if we go anywhere up and down Dallas, it's a bunch of black men and a bunch of Latino men driving forklifts. When people try to tell you inflation, who's complaining about inflation? Everybody's complaining about inflation. Inflation is a tax on everyone. Inflation is a tax on the rich, on the poor, everybody. It is eating up your dollar. Okay. Um, and I want y'all to again sparkle. Let that go. Same thing there. The whole Project 2025. They're called lobbyists. This is why it's so important for us to have these discussions, even though y'all tired of talking about him the last 9 days before people vote. Because most people don't know what lobbyists are. They don't understand Project 25 is a group of lobbyists. Whether Trump gets in or not, they're going to still do what they do. And they're going to run money through the pockets of people that claim I'm ashamed of these people. It's comical. I mean, there's a credit repair lobbyist group. I'm a part of the credit repair lobbyist group. There's only 260 members. Out of all these thousands of people on there saying they got got a credit repair businesses, but ask them if they're part of the lobby group. Ask them. They're not. It's only 250 people. There's literally 10,000 credit repair businesses and 250 people pay into the lobbyists. We pay a lobbyist. This is very common. Every company you can think of, when literally, what's his name? Bill Gates just said he's going to drop 50 million on Kamala. That's lobbying. That's lobbying. Okay? When Jeff Bezos said, be quiet, don't say we for either person. Jeff Bezos ain't stupid. He was like, look, just in case it don't go the way we want, be quiet. Right? Every time you see these people going hard, trust me, that's lobbyists. There's a lobbyist for every group you can think of. Now, the reason I brought up this article is that the what they're trying to portray to you, you're some white lady in a city far away, and you're reading about this hardworking 40-year-old man working in a factory. Oh my gosh, right? It's very much propaganda, because that's not who usually works in there. But it's making you care about their issue. Okay, let me show you this. See if I can pull it up. This is important right here. U.S. homeowners paying nearly 30% more in property taxes since 2019. Now, it rose the highest in Texas and Florida. Why? When you convert a bunch of farmland and turn the farmland over to houses, now we have to write up what the houses are. This is ugly ass San Antonio. I see the pier right here. Oh, dirty looking San Antonio. Hold on. Yep. Oh, dirty San Antonio. I don't care what none of them say. It's gross. All right. So when you convert a bunch of farmland that has not been taxed for 50, 100 years, and you turn around and you build houses on it, the home builder is going to pass those taxes to who? You. So now you've moved into your home and the taxes are high. Now, prime example of people complaining near Austin is a lot of black people moved to Pflugerville. Pflugerville has the highest taxes in our areas. But why was that? Because they didn't care because of who was moving over here. Now that we have a lot more white people moving to Pflugerville, they're like, hey, these taxes are crazy. Get these damn taxes down. You better be, they're on their neck in Pflugerville now because you got to get it right. Okay. Same thing happened in Hutto. Same thing happened in all these places that are farmland. Now, also, I'm watching a lot of video, right? Exactly. That's what they want you to think. Only middle-aged white men are straight. Right? I'm sorry, y'all. It's just going to be this way for tonight. So then they want you to, oh, look how high the taxes are in Florida and Texas. Don't move here. They're terrible. When you see people hella winning in Florida and Texas, when you see people winning hard, when common sense says, when I own a house and it's the only little thing I got other than my cars, I need to figure out every way to fight against what? Raising taxes, repairs. Your house is somewhat of a job. See, this is what happens when people aren't married. Like, let me put that elephant in the room. When they're like, more women own houses than men. And most of the people I see crying on the internet are women. My property went up $300. I don't even want it anymore. Sis, you don't want a house anymore because that's your job, to fight the taxes. That's what your granny do every year. Okay. The homestead exemption in Texas, it freezes your taxes. Right. I was at an event, Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'll make it very clear. I was at Dr. Boyce Watkins event. Dr. Boyce Watkins was here. He had Julian and all of them that are talking on stage. And some lady stood up and she was from Detroit. I'm from Detroit and my taxes here in Texas that went up and I pay like $8,000 a year for my taxes. And I said, so I pulled her aside. I said, ma'am, have you got homestead exemption? Have you just, yeah. And I said, well, where's your house at? And let her explain it to me. Of course, the woman in a damn 4-bedroom, 4-bath, almost 3-car garage house on a golf course. Ma'am, you would have never lived like that in Detroit. Of course, your damn taxes is $8,000. You got to go argue that stuff with the area you're in. If you could not afford a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house with almost 3-car garage on a golf course, why did you move over there? I know why she moved over there. Because she got it for probably $150. She got it for $150. I know this area where she got their house, and all those houses are now $600,000. So her property taxes are $8,000, but she bought that house at $150. You know how I know? She said she bought it 8 years ago. That area just started crapping up houses 8 years ago. I really want to tell sis, instead of you winding up here at this Dr. Boyce event, sell that house, take that $500,000, and go move further out. Go move further out. Or go invest your money. That's the time you're supposed to be investing your money. See, what it is she wants to walk around and say, I got half a million in equity and a big ass house, and I don't live in Detroit no more. But she don't want to pay the cost to be the boss. So sell that house, move further out, and get you a smaller house. When she said her kids was gone, half her people from Detroit gone, they live in their own places. Well, sell the house. See, this is the conversation nobody want to have. See, in Texas, it's very easy to get seduced by these really big houses. Diamond Dave can tell you when he was in Houston, they got some big old houses. 2-story big giant houses, got to have 2 AC units, all kind of stuff. So I'm already telling y'all, and people get smart with me in the comments. Oh, you telling us things like you really a Nostradamus or something. And I started laughing when I read that comment and I deleted it because I'm petty. And they wrote a whole paragraph, so I made sure I deleted it. What I keep telling you is the next 10 years in America, really the next 5, if the people who are baking on Trump winning, either or, Kamala wins, either one win, long as the leases stay open. The oil guys, the utility guys, the solar panel people, they're so happy. They don't care because they know what's going to happen. All these people are moving to Florida. All these people moving to Texas, and they get these energy bills, and they crying hot titty, right? They from Ohio where it don't never get more than 82 and muggy, and they crying. They down here in Texas. Oh my God, it's so hot. I go, these are the same people you're gonna knock on their door. Hey, we can put some more installation in your walls and your ceiling. It only cost you a couple thousand, save you thousands of dollars a year in your energy bill. Really? Right? Then you're gonna come to these same people, right? You're gonna come over here and say, "Hey, we can put these solar panels on your house. Your energy bill will be $50 a month, even though you got your AC on 62 all day long, all night long in summer Texas. We'll hook you up." Oh my God, really? So the money that's gonna be made in solar, if you're my middleman in millions, I keep telling y'all that, in solar, in utilities via the stock markets or via actual investment, um, the money that's going to be made and having these properties, I'm telling y'all, this is what's coming. And so for the HVAC right now, why do you think Grant Cardone's trying to run around and buy up HVAC companies and roofing companies? Because all these people coming down to Florida, and somebody like Diamond Dave, hey, the roofing guys say it might take us 2 weeks to get there, no problem. Somebody that's not from Florida, oh my God, the hurricane came. I need my roof fixed right now. Ma'am, it's going to catch you extra. I'll pay extra. I need my roof done right now. They're not used to that type of environment or weather. He did a great show on it. You can go watch it. I want you to understand that's where the money's going to be. That's why I'm telling you, middleman to millions. And I'm talking about these courses and I'm talking about this stuff because I already been seeing it for the past 7 years. That's who's making the money. The Latino men I walk up on who do solar panels, they are making a ton of money. They're walking around out here driving around in F-250s, F-350s, and dually trucks, just living a great life. I was in Dallas, a black man who does commercial fencing. I put his picture up on this community wall a while ago. I'm at the thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm bidding for the city right now, a $7 million job." Okay, so when people sit here and say, "Well, who's going to benefit from this? Who's going to make money?" People with skills, people who are willing to take the responsibility of fixing things. Right? So as people sit here and cry about my property taxes went up. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm read these to you a little bit of it because I know y'all be like, Erica, you're just getting sassy. All right. So here's the funny part. Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, Indiana. Nowhere, Indiana. Nobody want to be there, Indiana. Clayton Clark, Indiana. The Colts being there don't even want to be there, Indiana. Had the biggest spike of monthly costs in the Midwestern cities at 66%. Let me just say that one more time. Indianapolis, Indiana. Nobody want to be there, Indiana. Indiana, that's down the street from Chicago, and you move over there because you want some Section 8. Indiana, that got run down Gary. Indiana. Yeah, that's the way I'm saying it. Indiana. That's how it's going to get said all day. Has 66% rise in property costs. Why? Because I keep telling y'all, these Midwest cities are legacy cities. They can't bring the taxes down. Right? Y'all think I'm going to move to the Midwest and get me a house for $20. I'm going to move to Indianapolis and get me a house for $20. I'm going to move to Detroit and buy a house for $20. Let me tell you, all my property tax bills every year have been like $2 to $4 grand in Detroit for crap properties. You have to literally argue and negotiate with these people. Well, we'll just take the property if you won't pay your property tax. No, y'all going to reduce this bill because ain't nobody in this house. Okay? Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. I just want to make it very clear. Look, somebody said I should have bought a 3 or 4 bedroom house when they should have bought a townhouse. You already know. You already know. Okay? So again, in Indiana, number 1 in the whole United States for increase in your property taxes. So that's why when people love telling me about the Midwest, I go, are you really paying attention? Are you paying attention? Number two, followed by where? Atlanta, Georgia at 65%. So let's read that back. Indiana, Caitlin Clark, Indiana. Indianapolis took the crown at the biggest monthly cost for your property taxes at 66%. They got to make up for all the people that left the city, y'all. These Midwestern places, I remember they were showing me a property outside of Chicago. And they're like, Erica, this is a great property. You should totally be look at this property. Think about this property. Oh my God, this property is so great. And I said, what's the property tax? They said $14,000 a year. I said, ain't shit great about this area that the property tax should be 14 grand a year for a duplex. So if I charge $1,000 per each side, because you're so far outside of Chicago, right? Let's say I charge 1,400 each side. That's 2,800 a month. I'm already taking more than half of that and putting it to what? Just property taxes alone. The math ain't mathing. But these people want to convince you, hey, come invest in Detroit. Come invest, in Chicago or outside Chicago. See how cheap it is? You can get a $20 house. We're not talking about property taxes. Okay? Make sense? Okay. Now, it's followed by number two, Atlanta, 65%. So the people that really own property in Atlanta is smaller than you think. Most people own property outside of Atlanta. So they're not crying as high, but they're crying down in Georgia. All right, Tampa is number three, with property taxes up 56%. Now, many of you are going to say, Erica, why are you talking like this? Because I want you to understand when people talk about new construction and the newest area to move to, how do you know what area is hot? Look at how much the property tax done went up since 2019. Then, okay, you had Tampa was third. Guess what it was followed by? Number four was Miami. Number five was Fort Lauderdale. And number six was Orlando. Property taxes rose between 40-50%. Anybody in here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando? Is your property taxes getting higher? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So this is the Florida people that are moving there. They're not ready for this conversation about taxes. All right. So then the top three tax cities, of course, Fort Worth, the big old Fort Worth, San Antonio, dirty ass San Antonio, and Dallas. Big D in Dallas. Rounded out the top 10. Dallas makes sense. San Antonio is regentrifying 75% of the city. It has to, their taxes have to go up. But this also makes a problem because San Antonio is marketed to people in Texas as the last cheap place you can go. You can go there and get a nice house real cheap and live out there and among the shacks and live real cheap. Okay. Now, why is this important? Now you can see the little map here. See, can y'all see the little map? I'm just gonna make it bigger. All right. Now look at the California area. The taxes had to come down. Las Vegas, middle of Arizona, Colorado. Them taxes didn't have no choice but to come down. Because why? They're trying to keep people, recruit people. A lot of people are fighting the taxes. Okay. So these are the most 50th most populous US metros. So when you look at America and you're saying, where do I want to live? Where do I want to go? These are the 50th top 50 most populous US metros. This is where a majority of people in America live. As you can see, Seattle, Portland, the California. Where is this? St. Louis. This got to be Kansas. No, I'm off. Yeah, no, this got to be St. Louis and this got to be Kansas. Possibly. This is Nashville. This is Charlotte. This is Atlanta. What's down there? Is that Jacksonville, Florida? That's got to be Jacksonville. That's got to be Jacksonville. And then, of course, the rest of Florida. You see all this empty space? If you want cheap taxes, cheap houses, there you go. There you go. Look at all this. South Carolina. Look at Virginia. Look up here in New York. Look at all these areas. It's Midwest. Okay. Everybody see that? But this is the thing, and I could go through a whole thing of insurance conversation with you about captive insurance, but you're going to see a rise so high of captive insurance. And cap insurance, I can do a smaller, simple word is self insure. It's a guy. You ever had companies? People try to sue a company. They try to sue a trucking company, or they sue different companies, and they get there, and the claim is denied, and they can't figure out why they're denying the claim. Half these people are small. Like you'll see the company is Lucas Trucking Company, Lucas Insurance. That's why these people are literally taking, 100 grand to half a million, put in an insurance policy, then take a loan right back out against it. It's their own policy. Now you have a board that is over it, and you have a officer over your plan, but that's me simplifying it down to the most simple answer. But that's why most people in Florida aren't crying about insurance. They have their own captive insurance, and they're covered by their various people. Okay, and they can do that. A lot of people can. This is why you see people in car accidents, and we try to sue the company, and we could never get the claim through. I already know. I already know we couldn't. Okay. All right. So let me. But that's another conversation for another day. Excuse me. Good gracious. I said I'm holding on. Okay. Let me go. To this other one. Let me see. Where is that? I'm trying to show it to y'all. Hold on. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. This is Barbarians at the Gate. Private equity storms Japan, and it has no where to go but from there. Japan corporate reforms make it for a target rich environment, right? So when people get hired by some of these Japanese companies because they had a lay flat decade, people never quit. They just stay with the company almost like for life. And so people wanting to quit their job in Japan, you had to send out these letters. You had to apologize to them. You had to beg for forgiveness. There's just a whole process. It's really ridiculous. And there's like 5 companies now in Japan who do the process for you. They send a representative to apologize in person on your behalf. They send out all the thank you, please let me go out of this job letters. They do all this so you don't have to be shamed, and you can quit your job and go somewhere else. It's really crazy. So Japan now is like that last, Bain Capital, our favorite buddies. They're trying to go over there and get some of that, destroy somebody else's country. And so here they go. But you can read about this. This is literally private equity coming into the door of Japan. And when we talk about zombie companies, what's happening is, long story short, is you have these companies who they're essentially zombies. Some of them, not all of them. And there's a lot of kind of slow moving bureaucracy, however you want to describe it, in Japan. A lot of these companies do things like I watched a video and it was saying they had these stamps, right? And they had to stamp the paper, like literally stamp the paper um, with these seals. And he was like, "Well, how long does that take?" He's like, "Oh, it takes a long time because you're spelling each letter out with this little stamp." He's like, "Why are they doing that?" He's like, "Well, because people could mock could copy someone's signature and they could do all this." And it was the most craziest answer, but it basically made all the processes very slow. I mean, you had to do things by hand, you had to look at it, you had to review it. And I just thought it was the most interesting thing, right? Um, but essentially, a lot of Japan's population, age, a lot of reasons they need the money. They just do. All right, they need private equity come in, juice them up, so some people can walk away, right? And that's how they're gonna walk away, to get some of this private equity coming in here, and that's a bad thing, right? Private equity goes and tries to be a monster everywhere, which is the scary part. So, but private equity being in Japan is gonna eventually, what you're gonna see is, oh, we need more foreigners to come in to help us, because if we don't get more foreigners in here, we don't know what to tell you. It's gonna be a real struggle, right? Let me show you this right here. Okay. Boom. Let me show you this. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. And something I've been talking about, y'all like, oh, Erica, why you keep bringing that up? And I just want y'all to understand what's happening. Elon Musk on track to be a trillionaire by 2027. And many of you are like, oh, and again, he do be on them drugs. I ain't gonna in front. He be high. I be seeing some of his interviews. I'll be like, this man is high as a kite. But this man also put stuff in place for satellites. I mean, again, you got to talk about Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Skylink, all that stuff. I mean, it's really crazy, right? His current net worth is $237 billion, and it's growing at an annual rate of 110%. On top of the fact that they got to pay that man out so much money, it's real crazy. And so again, I think a lot of people, he's crazy, he's weird, he's this. Why we're sudden is he now being demonized? We don't talk about George Soros like that. Now we do, of course, but not in the beginning. We don't talk about Bill Gates as being weird and quirky, and he's not even a doctor. Why is he trying to vaccinate half of Africa? Why is he buying up all the farmland in Africa? What's going on? We only reserve that for Elon Musk. And so I want you to understand, when you start growing, and this man did a hostile takeover of Twitter. Hostile means I'm just going to keep buying shares. I'm going to keep buying shares till you have to acknowledge me. I would love for somebody to do that for one of the companies that's here in Austin, because there's quite a few companies here in Austin. And I was like, how much would that take to do that? Like, how much money would that take? And not necessarily you want to buy the company, but just take over a powerful position. Um, for sure. Well, Dominique Campbell, here's the thing. Um, the company that has the lithium mining contract in North Carolina, different. And I know everybody's like, oh, generational wealth, generational wealth. I want you to understand the the trajectory of this money. This man bought Yahoo, not Yahoo. What did he buy? Oh my God, my brain's fried. When he started his trajectory with and this is a whole conversation I need to go back and kind of feel, because people want to be lazy and say a lazy answer like, oh, generational wealth. That's not the answer. He got in a cabal. Now, what is a cabal? It's where you're all working together and you're all pushing. What is the cabal? If you go look up the Stripe PayPal cabal, they have this circle graph where they show you all these people inside the PayPal Stripe cabal, and all the guys who helped make Google, Facebook, PayPal. Um, they all know each other, and they literally just all pushed each other through the door and took over internet space and took over promoting. And he owned, you know, PayPal, and was able to sell PayPal. And then you guys got to understand, when you start, if you really dig deep, okay, if you really dig deep into the PayPal mafia, everybody that's in the PayPal mafia has a ton of money. It's so close. They're so close to PayPal. Elon Musk slept with the dude's wife that owned PayPal, and they got divorced, right? Right. It's kind of wow. Which is messy and wow, right? Is nasty and messy and wow. And what you have to understand is they literally got in this cabal together and pushed all their companies forward. And I want y'all to understand, if you go back, there's an old photo, if you can go back and find it. It's so important if you find this photo, if you're a YouTuber like me. There's a picture of Lewis House, okay? Graham Stephan, okay? Meet Kevin, and three other white dudes. And their channels from that day after that picture, they're in a cabal, okay? Same thing with Steve Harvey, all these people. When Cat Williams was making fun of that whole situation, that is a cabal. Literally, Cedric Entertainer keep getting TV shows. I didn't even think about it till this white lady was saying, girl, Cedric Entertainer starting to look old. And I was like, why are you talking to me about this? Because I'm black? But I had to just go on with the conversation. I was like, oh, really? He's in a TV show? She's like, yeah, he's in a TV show called Neighbors. And so I want you to understand, like, these people are in a cabal. Like, I'm in Austin to be in somebody's cabal. And if you can't get in the cabal, make your own cabal. Because it's very much possible here in a city that has over 10,000 capital companies. They're definitely getting some cabals here. Okay. And I know it sounds terrible how I'm saying it, but literally, what you're going to look back and see is the media kind of pushed this guy. And then when he decided to buy Twitter and not be what they want him to be, oh man, he's terrible. He's horrible. He's awful. It's like the TikTok campaign. We got to get that TikTok out of here. It's dangerous. TikTok is getting your data. They're getting your information. Like these every other site is too. Right? Right? It's really crazy. And I don't think y'all understand how crazy it is. Yeah. Yeah. Right? I don't know if you pay attention to the Wayans family. The Wayans family is rich, rich. They're so rich they got their children on TV now. They don't have to push too hard. Their children on TV and TV shows. Chris Rock brother came out the other day, maybe a week ago, and said, I begged Chris Rock, can I be in his movies? Just give me a small part. I've asked 5 times and he's never done it. And Chris Rock may have his reasons. He may have all the reasons in the world. Like, nah, man, you can't do it. But the Wayans family, they've cabaled and made sure not only do they have TV shows, do they have executive producer rights over multiple channels, multiple TV shows. His son's in a TV show and he has producer rights. And I'm like, that kid just started acting. You have to understand, like, nobody gets super rich by themselves. And part of those 50 cities I showed y'all, you can go to Toenail, Ohio, and try to get rich in Toenail, Ohio. But guess what? You're going to have to convince somebody to invest in you, whether it's a bank or people. You can go to middle of nowhere, Florida, and try to go get rich. I'm going to tell you what can happen. In parts of Texas, parts of Florida, you can come in there, start a service company. You can make $1 million to $5 million a year, start buying up stuff. Yes, in 10 years, you will be big dog. Or some of you can come into some of these big cities that you think are overcrowded or be near them or triangle to them and build up companies that serve those areas and make a lot of money. There's a reason they were joking about Uber drivers in Austin and Dallas. They make on average 60,000 a year. And people are like, oh, I don't make that. And I'm an Uber driver in Toenail, Virginia. I'm a Uber driver in nowhere, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. Uber drivers in Las Vegas make 100K a year on average. Well, they make something like 75,000 once they did all the math. But at the end of the day, you have to be somewhere where it's a needed service, where services are needed to be a useful person. Um, you know, what I've seen the past week of people saying these politicians better come speak to us and talk about what? You saw Killer Mike get up there on the microphone and talk about child support. That politician wanted to come in there and be like, y'all brought me down here to talk to you Negroes about child support. You don't know how child support work by now? You didn't see the men's right movement just make sure all these men could get full custody of kids? And why is that? Why are you not getting full custody of your kids if it's a problem? Right? Because many judges are turning over custody, but you have to have your own place to stay. You have to be financially stable. You have to have a career. You have to show you can actually house the kid, not just drop it off at your mom's house. And that's condescending. I know somebody's like, Erica, that's rude. I'm just telling you, you bring politicians down and you talking about child support and you're Killer Mike. It's embarrassing. What are y'all requesting? What are you asking for? So yeah, I mean, at the combination of what's going on right now, when people act like I can't believe you, I can't believe you talk about us like that. Exactly. He's on season 5 or 6. He's gonna get in syndications over and over again. If you keep seeing the same faces every year here, it's not accident. It's not. Can you spell what a ball is? Here's thank you, somebody. A cabal is CABL. Small group of people that work together secretly, often with the intention of promoting their own interests. I don't know if you noticed, but Elon Musk and them had been in this group so long, he had just threw some money to the AI guy. And the AI guy was building this thing, and they was all gonna break each other off when it really hit. And hey, here's your part, here's some money, here's your money. Well, he decided to sell it to Microsoft. And not really. I'm just giving you a very watered down version. And Elon was like, wait a minute, hold on. Now, didn't I just toss in $30 million? And you've been working on this thing. You supposed to break me off some money. And he just sent it. They didn't really have big, tight contracts. Why? Because they've been in this cabal with each other, just funding each other's projects and different things. And that's why people are like, oh, why is he suing? Why are they suing each other? Aren't they friends? I'm giving you a very watered down version, but I want you to understand what's happening in front of your eyes. A lot of y'all are y'all don't understand there's people in cabals and they're right now there's a group that's been a cabal for a while and their power is waning. and they can feel it, and that's a good thing because it needs to switch up. Let me see here. Here's this thing. I got this thing I want to show you. All right. This is a guy who makes $20 million a month selling air filters.
That nobody else would have thought was solvable. And time and again, I've proven that to myself. And over time, when you build that muscle, you become more and more confident in your ability to be able to problem solve. And that's how you, over time, build a sustainable business.
Now let me just give you a quick little run up. This is Alabama. He's in Talladega, Alabama right now. Now he don't live in Talladega, Alabama. He's from New York. But what he decided was like, I want to make this air filter business because he had friends and family who were in the business loosely. And he knew it was big money if you could get it production right. Now, to buy the real equipment was like 100,000. He started off cheap and bought a knockoff from a friend. If you watch this video, he knew somebody who knew somebody, right? They magically got some parts. I mean, he ain't telling on himself, but he just basically told himself, we got some stolen parts and we tried to put together a knockoff machine. And guess what happened? It didn't work. The machine didn't work. He tried to act like, well, we it wasn't the official equipment. Yeah, because you had some stolen parts. Okay. And when the parts didn't work, it took a month in the business and he had to go and they had to go back and put some more money on it, get the machine to work because he couldn't just call somebody to come service his air filter machine because guess what? It wasn't an official machine. Okay, it wasn't an official machine. See, if you listen to between the lines of what people tell on themselves, what he had was a knockoff machine. Now let me
those
just
first years
show you.
building out filter business with no experience in manufacturing. I started an air filter business in Alabama with no idea of what I truly got myself into. If I had to put a number on it, we would be in the neighborhood of 100 million units of air filters that we have produced and sold since inception. Just this year, we passed the $1 billion sales mark. So we've sold over $1 billion of pleated air filters since 2012. Follow me through the early days, building out my business from the ground up, and learn a few of my biggest lessons from those first years building out FilterBuy into what it is today. The gurus on social media like to show you the end result.
Okay. Do y'all understand what I just said? Do you understand what I said? This man done went and bought a knockoff machine, and he in New York thinking, well, shit, I can go rent this warehouse. I can go rent this warehouse for $3,000, probably, because it's Alabama. It's Talladega, Alabama. Okay, I can go pay a few people who had experience because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna go buy this knockoff machine for my friend, a family friend of a friend. He made sure to tie it up there, friend of a friend, and put it in this warehouse and make money. Now you're gonna think, well, he must be made of all this money. Listen, he's in New York City, working around Wall Street. I want you to understand the future of what you're gonna see, and pay attention to what Max Maxwell's doing. Right? I'm gonna record my warehouse here in shortly, but I want you to pay attention to what Max Maxwell doing. Going to the laundry space. Everybody got laundry. Okay. He's got a couple other stuff, shower related, other stuff. You'll start seeing it. Pay attention. Yeah, he's building property overseas in Africa. Oh, that's so cool. But pay attention to what he's selling. Products. Products that you can find on Amazon. Okay. Thank you. Every house, every business needs an air filter. Every house, every business. You can get government contracts to fill up government buildings with air filters. You can get college, university contracts to put the air filters in there. Journey to Jasmine, it wasn't just him. He worked with two other older white men, but you don't never see them. You see him. He's the face. He took his money and kept it moving. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. I'm like, some stuff is a 2 to 3 year window. You take that money and you invest it. All right. Right now, I'm dealing with some tax liens right now, where I got a tax sale and the person has 6 months to redeem it. So I'm just making sure they don't redeem it. I got one property I had to go back and redeem. I mean, I just want you to understand, like, there's a lot of little things people can start and do. And if I told you I was doing an air filter business, you'd be like, that ain't sexy. But it don't have to be. This man's a billionaire off air filters. And it ain't been that long. It ain't been that many years. It's just something I want y'all to check it out and watch, because I think a lot of times people don't understand. Here, I'm saying, I'm showing you a little bit more, and then I'm gonna switch over to the other one.
They like to show you the lifestyle. They like to show you the private jets. The reality is, to build a successful business takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I think it's important to share with everybody what running a business actually is like. The first thing probably people don't want to hear, but it's a lot harder than I thought. If you're really setting yourself up to go into some type of entrepreneurship journey, you got to be prepared for the slog. One piece of advice I normally give people that are thinking about doing something is, you need to be prepared to give yourself at least 2 years of runway before you take any money out of your business. And you need to have the stability of that and the commitment to that before you really can get started. So my first 8 years of doing this, I was honing the processes that allowed me to.
Okay, now let's tip into what he said. Let's tip into what he said. Okay, um, let's tip into what he said. 2 years, and be stable. Essentially, the average person, the average business owner that you ever read about, ever study, this is all documented data, is a 44 to 45-year-old man who has married to a wife who works, and has a low tech business. This is technically a low tech business. You see, he's stuffing the equipment in Utah. He putting it manufacturing weirdo in Alabama. Why is that? Alabama, super cheap. Alabama, them trucks can pick it up and move around. Right? And when I talk about digital liberty warriors, why do I talk about digital businesses? Because it's a business you can start today. Digital products, affiliate marketing, all that stuff can be started today. All that stuff you can pivot and move and do other stuff. All that stuff can put money into your physical product business. And even though he's saying 2 years, he's saying a long process. I personally am documenting and showing you guys inside Digital Liberty Warriors how to put $1,000 and turn it into 20,000. How you can buy inventory and put it on Amazon. And this is not like you're selling Amazon. I'm not. I'm literally talking about white labeling. I'm talking about putting your name on products, putting your design on products. I showed you Tabitha Brown. I showed you Darius Cooks. All these people. A lot of this is just a numbers game and a PPC game. Right. Swift Beats. If you actually look at the data about most businesses fail the first year, you actually, if you read the data of what they actually show you, once you check into most businesses, that same, depending on the business owner, that person reinvests in other businesses. So I have like 4 or 5 businesses that on paper they're gone. I changed the ownership, our fencing company. That company's gone. We literally started a new company with painting and went and did that the next year. So did on paper that first business fail? For sure. But it was the same company. We just changed paperwork. So a lot of times I don't think people understand that you're putting $100 on some paperwork, right? You're putting $100 on some paperwork, and people are like, well, it failed. No, that same person, if they actually study those people, usually the average person owns multiple businesses. So they don't just have one business, whether it's LLC or it's a subsidiaries or they split up LLCs. It's very convenient for people like, well, businesses fail. And you go, what type of business? Right? A lot of people make this comment like, well, black people always have credit repair businesses. And I just laugh when I hear that, because I'm like, the average white guy, when I actually go to credit repair seminars, and actually there it's 99% white and Jewish. The biggest people in the marketplace making 10, 5, $6 million a year. So when I hear this, most businesses fail. 2/3 of all businesses that SBA is funding is from second generation immigrants. You think them immigrants let them businesses fail? No, they do not. They sell them to another friend. Every time them Asians cut up, hit somebody in the head, or do something crazy on the news, and everybody's trying to cancel the store, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell the store. And they sell it to another friend. So did the business fail? No, they just sold it to another person. And that's what's going on a lot in Houston. They just trading paper. That turkey leg, they're going to move that paper on that turkey leg and do something else. Come on. You know what I mean? I just want you to understand, like, 1 in 10 Asians own a business. Are they all own a business, or they make sure they have some paper? right? 1 in 34 whites, 1 in 54 Hispanics, and 1 in 8 blacks. I just want you to understand it's a piece of paper. Not many people do it big at this level at all. Okay.
So open what you see behind me.
So
I'll tell you this: my first day here, I thought that they sent me to the wrong company. The first person I met was Gary. He took me through this plant. All the lights are
what do you see about Gary? What do you see about Gary? What does Gary look like?
off. There's no machines, and he told me what this company would be. And I'm 18. I'm fresh out of school. I'm like, he's crazy.
The earliest problems that I remember for sure is the early machines, not knowing how to run them, not knowing what was good, what was bad. I was a little bit cheap and decided rather than going with the more standard filter machine manufacturer, we used an independent guy. We got the first set of machines and Gary couldn't figure out how they worked because it turned out that they were not built correctly. And so there was not like any machine that he had ever dealt with before. It was like, I just don't understand how this all goes together. So then the guy had to take it back, and it was like another month before we were actually able to get started. And I was so mad because I spent.
What did he just tell you? My hookup didn't hook it up right. My hookup didn't hook it up right. Right? Come on. It's been selling back and forth. I tried to buy my friend's mom was gonna sell me her cleaning or and it just had the cleanings and then like you ship the clothes went down the street to this actual place that did the cleaning the clothes. And military base everywhere's got a military uniform clean, like, hey, we get your uniforms clean 24 hours, come back, 48 hours, come back, get your uniform. And she couldn't sell it to me because she had got a loan from the Korean church. The Korean church was like, no, you have to try to sell it to somebody else who's actually in the Korean church first. And some of the same people, I actually know their parents. Fayetteville, North Carolina, you can look this up in the newspaper. They had a crackdown on a sex trafficking ring, and also what they called what do you call that thing? Oh my God, racketeering. So there's 2 or 3 Asian parents we know. They moved to South Korea and they ain't been back. And did the company fail? No, they just sold it to another Korean person in Fayetteville. So, if you look at when you looked at what happened in Atlanta, and this not be disrespectful, and there was a shooting in Atlanta of the massage parlor places, they were sex trafficking charges on some of those people. They have about 25 Vietnamese people in Atlanta that was I showed you on here on this channel where they were in a ring of credit card fraud, some type of racketeering, and also human trafficking. But you didn't hear much news on it. Like they running around these big old houses in Atlanta arresting these people, telling you what the charges are, but y'all not ready to hear that part. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready to talk about it. And I get it. Y'all just ain't. But what this man basically said is they used the independent person. Independent person put it together and send it over. Somehow it didn't work. Come on now. So anyway, let me hit you with the other one. Let me skip out on that one. Y'all got the just, but just do the math. And again, these people ain't gonna have your kids around. Your kids ain't gonna be around their kids. Let me show you this one.
So the cadre here at Norwich University are the primary instructors involved with any freshman operations.
Now, let me be very clear. What you're seeing is one of the oldest private military colleges in America. It's $47,000 a year to be there. I told you one of the women I look up to and admire in Dallas of QI Research, her son goes to an independent academy in Indiana. And these people are sending their kids away from you, well-to-do kids away from your kid, when you're telling your kid to go to college and get drunk and party and be unstructured and goof off. They're sending their kids to a very structured, disciplined, follow the rules academy/college at $47,000 a year, and they don't leave. They stay there like all year almost. Very, very short summers. Let me play a little more for y'all. Play a little more.
In recent years, Norwich University has been scrutinized for allegations of hazing.
Just a show of hands. Anybody know what the last time a hazing incident in this institution actually happened? The women's rugby team? That's the one I was thinking of. Good job.
In 2022, several cadets on the Norwich women's rugby team were accused in a Vermont criminal court of waterboarding and branding other students, resulting in tickets and fines.
When's the last time a hazing event happened in the court? Not to an athletic team. Anybody know? It was like 3 years ago.
Norwich leadership told us that hazing is strictly prohibited on campus.
First of all, it's a law in Vermont. They have to follow the law.
Rooks at Norwich now undergo a hazing brief, a course implemented in 2011.
With a training regime like this, there is always the possibility that it's going to happen. Okay? So we want to talk to you about what it looks like, what it could look like, and what you need to do if you see it, or God forbid, you're one of the people that happens to, so you know how to react.
We're not a basic offer.
All men at Norwich and women who elect to join become members of the Norwich University Corps of Cadets.
Norwich is our nation's oldest private military college, one of 6 senior military schools.
Norwich University is known as the birthplace of the ROTC, or Reserve Officers Training Corps, a college program that trains students to become commissioned officers in the U.S. military.
Okay, I'm going to pause that there for you. I want you to understand what he just said. Do y'all understand what he said? This is where we send people to be commissioned officers. Right? Now your parent, now the tuition now, before it was cheaper, $47,000 a year. But what they know is going to happen, your son or daughter is going to leave here. Just like I know a black man from West Point who went in the military. And they're going to be higher ranking. They're going to be on track to 100K a year incomes in the military. Various careers. There's over 700 careers in the Army. They were not even talking about Air Force and Navy and all that stuff. There's a reason people with money send their kid here, right? There's a reason someone from DC, let's go there for a second. If I live in DC and I have a kid and I want them to be high ranking in the military, I know they're a little soft. I'm not sending them south of DC. The heat will take them out. Come on, if you're from South Carolina, if you from Florida, if you from Georgia, if you in Texas, y'all, the summer heat take old boy out. If you got a soft kid from DC, you got a wealthy kid that's been in nice schools in DC. Am I gonna send them to Vermont up here to this nice, beautiful weather? Which I go to Vermont every year, y'all. I go to Burlington. I do an annual drive. That's all I have to say about that. You know, if you know, you know. If you're in my private groups, you know. Right? Right? So, if I got a soft kid in DC, but I'm high ranking, I'm an important person, I want to run around and tell people my kids at a military academy, where I'm going to send them? I'm going to send them here. I'm going to stash them away in Vermont. They might want to smoke a little weed. They might want to cut up a little bit, hang out, enjoy the leaves, enjoy the very mild weather. But I know they won't be marching in no 90-degree heats in Texas and South Carolina just to be at a party school. I know that. All right. Hold on a second. I was going to pull up that military academy in Indiana for y'all. Hold on. Here it is. Oh man, we struggling. We about to wrap it up. Okay. All right. So again, I just want you to understand when you say, well, I don't see these people. Come on, listen. I went to school in VT for 3 years, very relatively nice and sheltered. Child, I'm in North Carolina. This Texas, he almost took me out last 2 summers. There you go. You got to get you some iron pills. You got to get you some more water. And your blood got to thin out. Okay, let me show you. Okay, this is where Dana Booth, Martino Booth, in Italian powerhouse out of Dallas, sent all her kids. This is Culver Academy. It's a high school. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Boiler Room. I tell you all the time about Boiler Room, but I also tell you about School Days. Not School Days. What's that thing? Oh, I'm messing the names up. With Brandon Fraser in it. He's Jewish. I always talk about it on here. These are the places people are sending those kids. Their kids are going to connect with what? Other wealthy kids who've been sent to this place in Indiana. Now, you heard what I just said about Indiana. Y'all know what I said about Indiana. But if I'm in Chicago and I have a well-to-do son or daughter, where am I send them? I'm going to let them go to school in Chicago? I'm going to send them to private school in Chicago? No. I'm going to send them over the state line to Indiana. They're going to be on this very nice campus. Sorry. Lord help me. I'm about to say something wrong. Anyway, and they're gonna be out here on boats, and they're gonna be out here having a good old time. They're gonna be out here living their best life. They're doing the most. Now, why am I showing you this? Why am I showing you this? What is the point of me showing you this? There's also boarding here. They're also school ties. Thank you. School ties. They're also boarding here. They're boarding them here. They don't come home. If I'm a wealthy business person, in Chicago and I'm always traveling and I'm always gone, I'm not even there. Right? Come on. Right? If I'm a wealthy businessman and I'm scared that my child in Chicago might be exposed to the hoodlums of Chicago, if I let her stay here, some little boy might get her. If I'm in Texas and maybe I don't like the academies in Texas, and I said, let me send my child up here. You know, this one lady, she said her daughter, she only let her daughter go for 1 year. No, I think it was 2 years, her senior year, her junior and senior year. But she let her son go all 3 years. Why? Because y'all not really understanding is these people are losing control of these sons. Okay? These people are losing control of their sons. Their sons are out here doing drugs, being lost to video games, not proactive. Then they got from 18 to 25, they're just sitting in the house. I mean, go look up all these stories of all these white families going, my son is just addicted to video games and porn and he doesn't do anything. But we don't ask them what happened in high school. What was the structure? Where was the discipline? Okay? It's school ties. Sorry, I said school ties. My bad. So again, this is why I keep trying to let y'all know that by the time y'all look on Instagram and you see some 25-year-olds, they got a house, they working on Wall Street, they're married, you're like, how are these people meeting these people? They got met a long time ago. When I tell y'all about young life in churches, y'all be thinking I'm joking. These kids were met in high school. These people were met long ago. These people were segued out away from you a minute ago. They weren't near you. They weren't near your children. They're not going to be at public school with your kids. They ain't doing that. Now, if I send my child here for high school, and let's say I go, listen, do 1 year in Vermont. And if you don't like it, then you can go back to the school of your choice. You've pretty much orchestrated their 15 years old to 20 years old. You've already lined them up for a very successful future. At least on paper, when they go to companies, oh, my child was at this academy and that academy. I just want you to understand what's happening. Come on. I mean, it's not even, and here's the thing. They don't even tell them to find their husband and wife there. They just put them in situations so systematically that it makes sense. When I was in a sorority, I was in a white sorority. You had to have a date to even go to the event. So what they did is they just old school paired you off with somebody. You didn't even get a choice. Like, hey, here, this is your dude. What year are you in, freshman? Here, there's another freshman. Here y'all go. If y'all want to come to the to the dance, y'all got to come together. If you don't come together, you can't come in. Very simple. And people don't think it makes sense like that in adult life, but in some of these levels, if you're not married, you ain't coming in there, and you ain't hanging with those groups of people. I want to be very clear. Very, very clear. Every time I see young men cut up in these little internet videos they be showing, and mom, I'm losing my son hit me. Girl, why he ain't at boarding school? This is very normal because we don't have like a rite of passage for men to go ahead on. I did not do any divine nine. I was in a white sorority. Okay. So looking back, should have did it, but it is what it is. Past is the past. So we don't have a rites of passage for young men, right? We don't have it. So what parents are losing is where they get to tell him to stop acting up or be this way or do that. They're outsourcing it. That's what they're doing. Oh, you doing drugs? You cutting up? You doing something stupid? Here you go. This is where I send you. I'm gonna get you here, and you're gonna be so happy to be here. 1,800 acres, 835 students, 6 students to 1 teacher. Your son a little slow on the reading. There you go. 20% international students. 100% of students live on campus. In order for your child to go here, they got to live on campus. That's how we can control them. Make sure they act like they got sense. 10 residential buildings. Girls and boys don't live together. You already know. 53 courses offered in arts. 194 courses. 24 advancement classes. 200 hours of leadership instruction by senior year. 4 equestrian teams. That's 4 horse teams, okay, if you don't know. 64 sports teams. So what happens is your child goes here, they have to be on a team. They really don't get a choice. Look at these names. Look at this boy name. Come on now. Come on.
So when I became a new cadet and went through the new cadet process, I had to rethink my whole idea on discipline so that it fits the Culver standards. And luckily, I had my new cadet brothers by my side to help me through that. And overall, that experience changed me into the leader I am now and allowed me to break through my introverted shell. What I really love about my Culver experience was the connections I was able to make my freshman year and the years after that with all really good people on campus and in my unit as well.
Now, why did I show you him? Because the average young man, when you hear him talk, they sound damn near slow. Now, as a person who hears kids talk, like, what's up, bro? What's up? Hey, yeah, whatever, mumbling, you're gonna be like, that's what I want. I want my kid to talk like that. And you see the last name is African, so y'all can go wherever y'all want with that. But his parents made sure to put him somewhere. Let me see if I can slide it over. Okay. Smong Tang, Quid. Okay. Okay, you got her. She's some kind of something. All right. So again, they got them reading scripts, whatever you see it.
First AP class, junior year, I had advanced placement, language and composition. And let's just say my teacher was hard, but the class was even harder. And so you have those two. They really made the experience really like different. And I was very much out of my comfort zone. But as I alluded to earlier, the environment here, the people, the classmates, they really want to help you. I had a good friend in that class, and he was always happy to help. And if he had an issue, I was happy to help. And when we both had an issue, the person to our left or right was there to help, as well as our teacher. At Culver, they really stressed the thing, high rigor, but high support. And I know that in that class specifically, it was hard, but nothing was better than the support that we got from our teacher and the fellow classmates.
Now, I want you to notice something. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that boy had hearing aids on both his ears. Listen how well he talked. I don't know, not to disrespect, but most people who have hearing aids on both ears struggle in language. This is a small environment. He can build confidence. He can talk loudly. He has to pronounce himself. He's going to walk confidently. I know one girl who's deaf right now. She's very shy, and they hooked her up at church with another semi-deaf person. Best thing ever happened to both of them.
Last year, I was invited to become the co-president for investment group here on campus. And at first, I felt a little bit nervous about what type of events to hold and how our meetings, like what topics it should be about. But with the help of my advisor in the Ron Rubin School for the Entrepreneur, we were able to talk to a couple of different guest speakers. And this year, we've been able to have 3 speakers so far. And because of these speakers, I feel like I was able to overcome that challenge of being nervous about what to present. And we were able to give information to the people of the club. To me, I think our unique leadership opportunities first in the classroom has helped me because last year I took T&T, which is thinking and teaming. And in that class, we learned how to work on a team and how to kind of step back and hear people's ideas. And then this year, as being part of the Safety and Security Committee, I have been able to implement what I learned in that class through listening to everyone's ideas and being able to work with them to create the best solutions.
Now, did y'all understand what she just said? They're in high school, and she was invited to be president of investment club, investment group in high school. Then she's taught, they have Fortune 500 people coming to talk to their investment group in high school. What do you think happens to those kids in that investment group in high school? Where are they going to go work? They're going to be on Wall Street. They're going to beat your kid out. They're going to beat your kid out because they already met the people who own these companies. All right. Okay. They're in an investment group in high school. Okay. Oh, for sure. For sure. Listen, I'm gonna say it in a nice way. If I'm a wealthy person, but I have a child that has some difficulties, they need to go somewhere where they can build confidence. Right? They need to go somewhere they can build confidence. They know how to talk. They can hold their head up. They can make eye contact. Because I'm telling you, all the young men I meet that head down, mumbling and shit, I'm like, that's dangerous for your health, baby. Somebody mistake what you're doing and they hurt you. It's just that's the nice way of putting it. Okay. So again, we're not talking about run of the mill mom and pop people. We're talking about people who are investing in their child. Investing. So again, you can see this stuff. You can see it's got castles. You can see there's big money in running places like this. There's big money in recruiting. You know, again, look at the campus, right? Big money in this. Big money, right? So, there's a town, of course, nearby, but when I go to Lake Placid, there is a private men's boarding school, boys boarding school there, and it looks like this, just like this when you go to Lake Placid, New York, and it's been there for 100 years. So, but it's literally right off the cut. You're drive by and you look over to the right, like, what's that? And so a whole boarding school. So let me see, what that's my last one. Let me look in here. I think I had this coins gram for y'all. That was the last 2. Coins gram. And I'll wrap this up. But thank y'all for being patient with me and my little shaky voice. And I did the best I could tonight. But I really want to show y'all that because I think a lot of times y'all think, well, Erica, you're just saying stuff people already know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, it's on another level. You're not even in the room with some of these people. Your kids aren't even in the room with these people. When people say, I don't know why these boys can't find good girls to marry, you're not even going to find her or those girls from that school because they've already got it partnered off with somebody. They already got them shacking up with Jeff over there, Let me see. Let me show you. Show you these 2 things, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, let me go here. Here we go. All right, this is CoinsGram. U.S. banks are currently sitting on $750 billion in losses on real estate debt. That's 7 times larger than it was in 2008. See, the difference is it's not subprime mortgages. It's commercial. It's commercial. I just want you to, when people say, "Oh, what do you mean you're gonna be Japan?" We already are. A little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Okay. So again, you need to be understanding there's levels to this. The reason I showed you those kids is like homeschooling, having cleaners go to your house, having great health care. That's one level of wealth. That's a nice middle class area. But being able to pay 65K and your kid sits out at a boarding school in Vermont or Indiana or in college at a private military academy where you know they pretty much are going to be quartered right off to commissioned offer status. Big thing. Now, again, this is why the government cannot be responsible for stuff because the government has lazy workers. Let me show you. Can you see this? Criminals allegedly stole $20 million worth of cryptocurrency from the U.S. government wallets, including USD Coin, Tether, and Ethereum. Okay? This is why. This is why the government can't be in charge of certain things. They will not be careful with it. That was what I was looking for. That was the article. Okay. Right? That was one of the articles. That was one of the things I wanted to show y'all. That's it. I can't remember. Oh yeah, this is in Arizona. This is in Arizona, and I'm gonna just tell y'all. Give it a minute. TSMC has achieved early production yields at its first plant in Arizona, surpassed similar factories in Taiwan to help. Okay. To help with the chip manufacturing. All right, you can find more about that in your own time. But let me see what's the other one. Got this other one. Hold on. Okay. Sometimes y'all say, Erica, who, why? Yes, young men need structure. Very much so. Young women too. If you're a famous business person and you're not going to be home and you're not going to be heavy hands on with a daughter and her being in activities and sports, it's a recipe for disaster. And she needs to be at that place too. Now, when people say, Erica, oh, I saw this conference and what do you think about it? And I'm gonna just tell you, like anybody who puts on a conference is self-promoting it. 9 times out of 10, they want to make money, and that's cool. I'm all about that. But I want you to look at some of these bigger name conferences because I think it's important. Because don't just let me tell you about it. You just look at some of the stuff here, okay? Real Estate Family Office and Private Wealth Management Forum. Okay. Manufacturing Housing Forum. Extended Stay Hotel Forum. Because they know a lot of y'all staying in these extended stays like living there. Okay. Mortgage Servicing Rights. Arizona Middle Market Multifamily Forum. Okay. Distress Forum of Bank Special Assets. Dallas in December. Cough, cough. Let me go down here. Land and Home Building Capital Market Forums. Las Vegas in February. Cough, cough. You might want to see me there. Okay. Let me go down here. Attainable Housing Forum, New York. Build to Rent Forum, Nashville, Tennessee. There's a reason they got it there. Distress Forum for Bank Assets. Okay. Again in Florida. Okay. Florida Middle Market Multifamily Forum. Okay. Real Estate CFO and COO Forum, California. Texas Middle Market Forum. Extended Stay East Forum in Atlanta in May. Okay. Financing, structuring, and investing in litigation finance. It's big money. There's big money in that. Okay. Land and Home Building Capital Forums. Isle of Palm, South Carolina. That's big money pulled that together because it's hot as hell in June in South Carolina. It's starting to be hot. Okay. Carolina Middle Market Multifamily Forum, Charlotte. October next year. Okay, why am I showing you this? Because a lot of people talk about, oh, I went to this real estate, this and that, and I went to Grand Cardinal thing. And I just want to tell you, there's like people in regions and sectors that really, really be doing it on a high level. And I don't think y'all ready to hear that. So, I just don't think y'all ready to hear that. I didn't see a lot of black kids. There were plenty of black kids in those videos. Which one? Both of them have black kids in it. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job being involved with these kids, keeping them on around track, because there's a certain age where their peers become more important to you. So I much rather have my kids along with peers that are thinking the same, focusing the same, um, all that good stuff. That's the best way to say that. Okay. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you got something out of it. I try to bring you guys great commentary. That's mostly what I got for y'all. If you're looking for training and stuff like that, this weekend I'll be in New York City. But I'll be back next week and we'll do trainings next week. Let me see. Oh, Nicole Purvey. I really love her. Let me see. I'm sure real quick. She is out of Philly, just like a couple other people that we talk about. And she made so much money with rentals in Philly that she moved to California, and a very wealthy part of California at that. And people always bring it up, like, how you living there? And it's like, duh, rentals. You can live in nice places. You can live where the wealthy live in California, and it don't matter, because you can live in Redondo Beach and don't care about the price of your rent or buying a house there because excuse me. She don't want to be in Philadelphia. She don't like living there. See this right here? Here you go. That's what I want to show y'all. See this part down here? See, this Inglewood. Inglewood always up to no good. This is Beverly Hills. But down here, where the big money dogs is at. Big money dogs, Manhattan Beach. Okay? Down here, where the big money at. When you know your numbers, what number do I need to live where I want to live? That's when it hits. When you know your number, what you need to live there. Let me see if I can play your audio. Did I play the audio?
South Bay, LAX in the purple, and yellow is the LA that you know and love, Hollywood. It's so random that I live here, real secluded in this community, which is less than 2% black, and I don't have a lot of family here. Just because I feel like it, I'm going to start sharing reasons why I love living in this part of the world, and you should join me. To be honest, although I'm a Philly girl through and through, this is home for me, and I don't want to live anywhere else. First reason is my house is walking distance from the beach. This is the most affordable area in LA that's this close to the beach. Specifically, this little pocket where I live, just a block outside of actually having a Redondo Beach address. Nevertheless, I love living here because this little restaurant is just 10 minutes from my house and it's right on the beach. It's always Hermosa and Hermosa. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I mean the bad parts of Philadelphia. Brought Naomi in the 90s, if you know, you know. But now I live in the South Bay, Southern California. And believe it or not, this is my second time living here. I was here from 2007 to 2012. And I moved back here again in 2020. This little cluster of towns is called the South Bay. It is.
All right. That's what I had to show y'all. Why did I show y'all that? Because I think we think we make more money so we can take our kids places and go on vacations and travel and trick off. And really, it's just, where do you want to live? I love when she talks about manifestation and all that stuff. She does a good job. She, her son knows nothing but California. He's not a Philly kid.
Many brothers had concerns about Kamala Harris.
But just somebody you should check out. She does good work. Excuse me, we're running out. We got to go get some more cold medicine. We're about to run out. I don't blame her for not living in Philly. I'm just telling you, it's like every time I see something about Philly, and they be laughing. They made a group chat, said Erica really want to live in Philly, and a few of your favorites that I brought on the channel are in the group chat, and I'm like, I don't want to be in Philly. Stop it. I'm just making fun of y'all for news. And so yeah. I used to live in Hermosa Beach, work near Beach City. There you go. Love Hermosa Beach. Yep. Cali is cool, but I mean, I need the beach house in North Carolina. I know what you're saying. I love Hermosa Beach. So yeah, so that's what I have for y'all. I just wanted to tell y'all, like, think differently, think bigger. We're gonna call November, December financial. November, December. We'll have really great guests on in November and in December. We're gonna have some great opportunities for y'all. Training. make it money wise, because literally there's 10 weeks for the rest of the year to get where you want to be. All the stuff I'm doing for my business, that's all the big stuff I'm trying to do for January through March. We're doing it now. We're putting the orders in now. We're putting the product in place now. We're filling out descriptions. I'm telling you about it inside the Digital Liberty Warriors group. We're talking about how we're growing, how we're changing. You see the calendar I showed you for real estate events. If you want to sign up to things like that, you need to be planning it now. Get your calendar out. And when people talk about, oh, people focus on too many hustles, they're focused on too much stuff, what they really tell you is their life is chaotic. They don't know the number. So you should be able to pull out your bank statement and figure out what number you're short or what number you're trying to get next month. And then you need to tell me, like, how many products do I put out? How often do I talk about the products? How often do I promote the product? Because it's really just at that point a numbers game. How many ads do I run? Do I run a $5 a day ad for a few days and then stop? There's a million ways we can cut this, but you have to decide, what does it look like for you? What does financial freedom look like for you? What does the next level look like for you? Because, honey, regardless whether Kamala or Trump wins this next couple of days, and I think this thing is going to be stretched all the way out to November, like Thanksgiving. We're going to be tired of hearing about it by the time it's like officially done. That's my prediction. I know y'all keep telling me hot toddy here. I've had plenty. I can't drink every day, y'all. Can't have a hot toddy every day. But I want you to understand, regardless of who gets in, I really think they're gonna pull the rug and say, "Oh my God, we're in a deep recession, and what you gonna do about it?" So if you're not in the stock market already, you're not training yourself already, you're not in community college, you're not setting yourself up to win. This is the time to do it, and hopefully you'll watch the channel for the rest of the year, and you'll see a lot of stuff we're talking about and we're doing, and we'll have videos from the warehouse and different stuff. I think towards mid-November or December at the latest, as we learning how to do a lot of the stuff ourselves. So, all right, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classic Clan Blog. I'll see you guys later.